So a big question we get on winningstrength.com is, when do we use belts? Belts are a very common use both in bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, basically all over the board in resistance training. So today we're going to go over when you should use belts and how you should use them. Okay, rule number one, when we use belts, we only use them about 50% of the time. Now, you could look at that a various amount of ways. One, try to work up at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 warm-up sets on core lifts without the addition of a belt. The reason is that you want your core to get strong with it. Remember that the belt is an additive to your training. That means that it doesn't actually do all your abdominal work, it just helps your abs. Well, if you train with the belt all the time and you use it for every set, your abs are actually probably going to get weaker, and you're going to limit the amount of weight you can lift top in because it's not an accessory to your lift anymore, it's actually a part of it. The next big thing that you want to recognize on utilizing belts is try to only use belts on core lifts. What does that mean? Squatting, deadlifting, power cleans, bench press occasionally. The point is that you don't need them for bicep curls, you don't need them for calf raises, you don't need them for a lot of different movements that you're probably doing in the gym and you see the average jackass wearing the belt. The point is that keep the belt off and let the abs grow, especially in isolateral movements. So if you're doing straight-legged, single-leg deadlifts or things like that, if it's a coordination type movement, keep the belt off so that your body has to coordinate its abdominal muscles. Because we want to develop our abdominals while we're training, because it's one of the most important muscles, not only protect our back, but actually to help us lift maximal weights, try to only wear the belt ultra tight on the maximal lifts, i.e. over 90%. So what I used to do when I was hitting my world record totals is I had a hole for about every 100 to 150 pounds. So let me show you. So this is the belt I used to use when I was competing. It has various amounts of holes on it, okay? So when I was hitting about a 300 squat or so, I would be about right here. It's got a little bit of tightness to it, right? I can't move it, but when I push out, it locks in. Now, this was about 500. This was about 600. This was about 700. And this was 800 plus. As you can see, it doesn't take too much bracing down to lock in that. But I had a different tightness almost for every 100 pounds. And that protected my back, but it also gave me a little bit of added extra support. Now, there were times in my training cycle where I would use no belt at all. So I had beltless squat maxes, I had beltless deadlift maxes. Then obviously wearing a belt gives you maybe, let's say, 50 to 100 pounds more in some cases. But I didn't use it all the time. I had lifts that even core lifts that I did not use the belt. So have beltless maxes and belt maxes and utilize a very, very tight belt only on the heaviest sets. Don't walk around with the belt snug like you're gonna lift. That's why I'm not a huge fan of lever belts, and lever belts only have one adjustment without getting the tools out and straightening it. I think that single lever belts with single holes tend to be the best way to do it and have those adjustments set for all those different kinds of lifts. So I personally would stay away from lever belts and only use single prong belts.